Hi everybody, this is Anne. I spend a lot of time designing hand-built bowls, mugs, and vases for you guys. But in this video, I thought I'd throw in a little twist and inspire you to follow along and create some very unique berry bowls with me. For this first project, I'm using flower cookie cutters, a styrofoam half sphere, and a 1/4-inch slab on a sheet of plastic wrap. Now, I found these cutters at my local grocery store, but there's a link to some in the description section below this video. My first step was to line the half sphere with plastic wrap so the clay won't stick to it. Now, I'm using the medium-sized cookie cutter and simply cutting out a flower shape. With my wet fingers, I rounded the edges of the clay, which flattens them out. I laid the clay down in the center of the sphere, working it down flat to the curved bottom. I cut out another of the same shape and repeated this process, but placing the flower just a little bit overlapping the first one and pressing down on the edges where the flowers connected. I continued this process with more flower shapes, working my way up the wall of the sphere and tightly connecting the areas where the flowers overlapped. My goal is to leave some opened areas in between the flowers so you can still identify the individual flower shapes. As the sphere began to fill to the edges and my space became more limited, I switched to the smaller flower cookie cutter to fill in the gaps. I repeated the same process of rounding the edges along the petals, then placed it in an empty space. I continued this process until the edges of the bowl were overlapped by the clay flowers. When everything was connected well, I used my sharp tool to cut the clay flush to the top rim of the bowl. I like a solid clay rim at the top of the bowl, as this seems to help keep my porcelain from warping as much in the high fire. So I rolled out a long, thin coil. I laid it over top of the bowl to make sure of the length. I scored the top of the bowl and the coil, slipped it, then attached it. I cut away the excess clay, then worked the seam really well and made sure the coil was firmly in place. Here's what it looks like from the inside. You can definitely still make out those flower shapes. When the bowl is leather hard, you can place a clean bat over the top of the bowl and flip it over. Mine isn't leather hard yet, but for demonstration purposes, I'll show you how to complete the bowl. I simply remove the styrofoam and peel away the plastic to reveal the outer flower shell. I ribbed any marks from the outside and made sure the connections between the flowers were tight. I placed the plastic in the sphere back over the bowl and turned it back over. I wanted even more holes for easy water flow, so I used this hole punch through the center of each flower. For even more detail, I used a ball tool and freehanded flower shapes around each center, echoing the flower shape it was being carved into. They don't have to be perfect or symmetrical. Here's a bowl I made earlier that's been bisque fired. On the bottom, I flattened a coil, cut it into 1-inch blocks and cut that on a diagonal, then attached them in a cross pattern for simple feet. I also made a simple push mold plate to catch any drips from your fruit. To finish it, I glazed it with Amico Celadon Cherry Blossom, then Amico Poppy around the outer sections of each flower. Then white on the rim for this cute bowl. The flowers go so well with the fruit that'll be washed and displayed in it. Weaving is another technique that leaves gaps for water to escape. Let's create a berry bowl to incorporate it. I created a template for this and will be again using the half spheres. On a 1/4-inch slab, I cut 2 of the side templates out, 2 of the handles, and 1 of the long middle section pieces. If you'd like a copy of the templates I used, there's a link to them in the description below. With a beveling tool, I beveled around the round edges of both pieces and both long edges of the middle piece. With the middle section still on the plastic, I draped it and centered it into the styrofoam mold. I made sure to bend back the handles and conform it to the walls of the mold with a rib. I scored one beveled edge of the middle section. I also scored one of the side pieces. In preparation for joining the two, I bent the beveled edge of the middle section backward and slipped it. I placed the side piece into the mold. I worked the seam down with my fingers, then ribbed it smooth. Take your time making sure to get a good connection all the way around. I reinforced the vulnerable corner areas between the bowl wall and the handle with a clay ball. I repeated these steps on the other side of the bowl. The handle templates are optional. I just like a little thicker handle. In hindsight, an 1/8 of an inch slab would have worked better, but for this 1/4-inch slab, I beveled all the edges, then scored the two surfaces, wet the handle surface, and attached them together. I worked the beveled edges down over the handle area as well. You can also trim the handles down to your preferred width. I didn't do it here, but I prefer to cut the overhang flush with the mold rim. I placed a clean bat over the bowl opening and flipped it. I carefully removed the mold and the plastic. I worked each seam closed with my fingers, then gently ribbed the whole bottom smooth. I made sure all the seams were still connected and tight. I replaced the plastic over top of the clay, but this time I put a styrofoam mold with a bottom circle cut from it. I did this with a box cutter. Now I'm going to set this aside. Now let's do some weaving. I rolled out a thin 1/8 inch slab of very soft clay on a piece of plastic wrap and ribbed it smooth. I used the side edge of a wooden slat as my guide to cut about 17 of the same size strips. I counted 10 of the strips, then removed all of the others for now. I made sure the ends of the strips were stuck to the plastic. I then peeled up every other strip and curled them back so they lined up. I placed one of the other strips down widthwise over the flat strips. I used a rubber eraser of a pencil to gently stretch the strip down between each groove. I carefully worked each folded strip back down over that strip and replaced them between the flat strips. I then folded back the opposite strips and repeated those steps. You can see why starting with very soft clay is essential so the strips don't break as they're severely worked. I ended up with a woven section that should look like this. I lined up the big flower cookie cutter so that my woven lines were running straight up and down and side to side to the curves of the flower petals, then cut it out. I peeled away all the excess soft clay from around the cutter. When I removed the cutter, I had this pretty little woven flower medallion. Again, working with the mold, I placed the same flower cutter over the center of that bottom, making sure to line up the cutter symmetrically with the handles, then tracing around it with a pencil. I tore open the plastic and cut out the flower with a sharp tool. Then it was easy to just remove the clay center. When I turned it over, the opening should be in the very center of your bowl. I laid the bowl on a flat surface and placed the medallion in the opening. You may need to push back on the edges of the opening a little bit with wet fingers for it to fit just right. Once it was in, I gently worked the bowl edges down so they butt up against the medallion edges snugly. On a 1/8 inch slab of clay, I cut another flower shape and drew a concentric circle to the inside of the cut. I used my X-Acto blade to cut that inner circle. I removed the excess clay and the center clay so I had this cute little flower outline. I fit that down over top of the weaving, stretching the edges so they fit around the borders of the medallion. I put pressure on the clay so it stuck tight to the bowl and hid the edges of the medallion, also holding it in place. I flipped the bowl back over and repeated those steps on the bottom. When the bowl was leather hard, I used this hole punch to create a pattern of holes along the walls beside the medallion. Now here's one I created earlier where you can see the medallion, the hole patterns, and on the bottom I used the same technique to create feet as the first project, this time using 8 diagonal clay pieces to form pyramid corners. I glazed the inside and the outer woven area with Amico Weeping Plum. I glazed the rest of the bowl with my white liner glaze and black lines to echo the woven lines. I made sure to really clean out the holes so they don't close up. I had one more idea for a berry bowl using the folded bowl templates from another video, using the clover bowl design and just adding a pattern of holes along the bottom when it was leather hard. Check out the video link to see how I created this bowl. All 3 of these designs would look great displayed on a dinner table or would make a great gift. Thanks to the newest members of our Little Street Pottery Research Facility team. If you'd like to join the team and earn a title, click on the Super Thanks button or the link to buy me a coffee. In any case, we invite you to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time in the studio.